Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to day number 68 of our 77-day video challenge. We are almost done. You don't have to put up with me talking every night. Of course, you can always go back, scroll through the Facebook, and re listen to what I have been talking about and rambling on about these past 68 days so far. I'm almost out of topics that I want to talk about, or at least I am having more difficulty trying to come up with an interesting topic to talk about and try and keep it at a shorter level. I did reach into my table talk packet of topics today, and it generated some additional ideas. And of course, that's where pulling taffy or pulling those threads, pulling those strings, one idea will lead to another that you eventually begin talking about. Our question today from the Table Talks packet. What are some things that are difficult for you to do with your non-writing hand? Interesting question. I am right-handed. Always have been until I couldn't be anymore. And you might think, oh, what is she talking about there? I had some issues probably. Oh, I was out of college. I was in the workforce for several years, and I started having some issues with my hands, with my wrists. I didn't know if it was carpal tunnel or what the issue was because I always thought carpal tunnel was on the inside of your hand, which it actually is. My issues were coming all the way on the outside of my wrist. Went to my regular doctor. He did some tests, said it's not carpal tunnel. I don't think it's broken, but there's some issues going on. Sent me to another doctor, a specialist, an orthopedic surgeon. He went, did a bunch of testing, found out that the ligaments in each wrist were torn. And what we ended up doing is re-sewing, or what he ended up doing. I just kind of laid there under anesthesia, sew the ligaments back together again. He did the left hand first. So I have, it's a very light, faint scar. And then we also have the circle scar. You probably can't see it in this light, but it is there. He put a pin in the wrist. He used metal to tie the ligaments together, and then there was a pin holding it together. I was given a cast, which came up to the knuckles. It covered the full length of my thumb and went up my arm around the elbow to about mid upper arm. I think that was about 6 or 7 weeks that I was in there. Never so glad to hear a saw to take that cast off for me. It was very interesting. I didn't have too many difficulties. I was able to get the garbage bag up and over, get a rubber band, so I was able to bathe relatively easy for myself. A little bit more difficulty with getting dressed for certain objects that I wore. Wore mainly all slip on shoes. Otherwise, I would put shoes on. And then when I got to work, I would ask a coworker to tie my shoes for me. When the cast came off, the doctor said, we'll give it a couple of days, probably about a week or so. Want you to come in. We will numb the hand and we will pull out the pin. Didn't last a week. Doing some typing at work, I looked down. There's something sharp pointing out of my hand, and it has some blood on it. Oh boy, the needle or the pin popped through on its own. Left work, called the doctor's office. My sister took me out to the hospital, and he comes with this pliers. Okay, in my mind, it was about yay big, it was probably just a regular needle nose pliers. But then he went to just grab the needle, the tip. I said, wait. You said you were going to numb my hand first. Well, we were just going to do that so we could kind of dig in there to get to the needle or to get to that pin. It's already sticking out. We don't need to numb anything. Oh, he should have numbed it. Oh, he should have numbed it. He pulled, okay, here's sort of the graphic description. He pulled the pliers to pull that pin all the way out. Oh my God, that pain was excruciating. I don't think I breathed for about 10 minutes because I didn't want to scream from the pain. It finally subsided. I started breathing normally. And about a week after that is when I started some physical therapy. Probably about 6 months later or so, we did the surgery on the right hand. Same exact surgery. Couple of differences, though, that I think made a big difference in the recovery. The cast, when he put the cast on, came up to the knuckles, but it was not all the way supporting the thumb. It only went to the base of the thumb and it only went up to about not quite the elbow. I truly believe because I used my thumb and my arm, it wasn't completely immobilized. It caused some of the damage where within a year, because the physical therapy didn't help a whole lot, but within a year or two, the ligaments tore again in both wrists. Ended up with a different orthopedic surgeon because by this time I had moved from Milwaukee up to the Sheboygan area. Different doctor. What he did instead of just resewing the ligaments in the right wrist, he completed a limited carpal fusion surgery. So he fused some of the bones together. So now, when you look at my hands, I can bend this one, my left one, back and forth. My right one, I cannot. This is as furthest back as it can go. I now have a nice big scar, which again, you can't really see real well on here. It's been well over 15 years. I still have scar tissue and it is still sensitive to the touch, never properly healed. I am getting a lot of pain. I have been pretty much ever since that second surgery. Had another orthopedic surgeon review all the paperwork, go through everything that had happened. He actually did some testing, some blood work to see if what happened to me with the ligaments tearing was due to some sort of a disease. Apparently, lupus and a couple other diseases could cause this issue to happen. The other explanation that I had received, tennis players, basketball players would oftentimes get this type of an issue in their wrist because they were using their hands. They would jam their hands, especially the basketball players. The hardness of hitting a racket. Yes, I played a little bit of basketball, a little bit of volleyball, a little bit of tennis. Nothing to that extent where I should have caused damage. Another explanation, falling out of about a 7-story building and then catching myself as I fell to the ground. That never happened either. But there is a 3% of the population this just happens to. I'm one of those lucky 3%. Yay! When I did go back to this third specialist and he reviewed it, he did suggest that for my right hand, if I get anything done, it would need to be a full wrist fusion, meaning I wouldn't even be able to go back this far. I couldn't move it forward, couldn't bend it, twist it around side to side. It would be foop, 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 foop. The left hand, in order so that I could still have some mobility in one of my hands. He wants to remove some of the bones in here. So basically, my hand would sink into the wrist. I would have flexibility and movement, but I just wouldn't have any strength. I am way too far gone for the right hand to be fused. There's nothing in there to fuse together anymore. All the fun and joy. Going back to the initial question, what are some things that are difficult to do with your non-writing hand? Well, with the two different surgeries on the right hand, that was about 14 weeks. 7 weeks the first time, 7 on the second time. I was not able to use my dominant hand. I learned to do a lot of things with my left hand. Won't go into some of the personal things that I had to learn to do, but one of the areas that I did have to practice and use frequently was writing. How do you learn or relearn how to write? This is my printing when I am writing or printing right-handed. This is my normal printing. This is me left-handed. A lot of practice. Every once in a while, I do have to switch to left-handed. Sometimes with the right hand, it gets so sore, I can't hold a toothbrush to brush my teeth, brush my hair, hold the fork when I'm eating. Not that the fluffiness would reflect that I don't get to eat, but I had to learn to use the left hand to do all of those different actions, including writing. Let's look at my signature. This is my messy little signature right-handed, but now it looks a little bit more proper cursive in the left hand, but it takes a lot of effort to try and print, try and write with your non-dominant hand. That's my challenge for you. How can you write or print with your non-dominant hand? I would love to see some samples out there. Take your practice writing, take some pictures, upload them into the comments. I'd love to see it. And just because it's me, it's Wednesday night, I had my Cream City Communicators meeting today. Today I found out was National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. And of course, I had to create a special background. Oh, I want some chicken now. Anyway, that is all that I have for everyone here this evening. Thank you so much. Have some sweet dreams about fried chicken and writing with your non-dominant hand. We will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Sweet dreams again. Bye, everyone.